So, you ever wanted to know what it would be like if all the X-Men were a bunch of British blokes and they all had British accents and whatnot, and they were all psychics like Jean Grey and animated like anime? Well, you know what I'm saying? That's what you get when you get FreakAngels, the newest CrunchyRoll original. Let's talk about it, because nobody else is. FreakAngels is when you take Umbrella Academy and you add in some X-Men and you put it all in post-apocalyptic London. It does sound kind of interesting. I mean, the dub is
What is it about the apocalypse apparently that makes me so damn thirsty? Christ. What if I'm apocal pregnant? How fucking cliche.
a thing that exists. But you know what I'm saying? The story sounds pretty interesting, like a lot of CrunchyRoll originals. You know, High Guardian Spice it had an interesting concept, and just the execution was dog shit. This one is a little bit different though. The execution isn't as bad, but we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, the story goes, essentially there are these 12 youth who are born in the UK, and they have special psychic powers. They're all Jean Grey, minus the Phoenix. And, you know what I'm saying, they're all born with psychic powers, and through a series of events, they end up in post-apocalyptic London. And, of course, you know, what happens? Well, they try to blend in with humanity. So they build a city called Whitechapel, and they're trying to kind of put out an olive branch to humanity, but humanity hates them because in these type of X-Men-like stories, you know, you always hate people because they're different. Which I guess that's kind of the way life works sometimes. But yeah, so of course, yeah, this borrows heavily from the X-Men. Alright, so much so that I'm not even going to use the real names of most of these characters because I can't remember them. I'm just going to call them superhero names. So one of the main characters is a guy I'm going to call Force Ghost, because he communicates a lot in the early part of the show in freaking psychic holograms. Then the other bad guy is, well, the bad guy is, I'm going to call him British Magneto, because that's essentially what he is. And essentially what this is Force Ghost. He wants to live amongst the humans. He wants everybody to live together in peace. And British Magneto has a British Magneto plan. So just take that with what, you know, just take that with what you will. You know what I'm saying? And that's really it. Most of the rest of these characters don't really matter. There's some other characters, like there is like the Hypno dude.
Sort off, you selfish dickhead.
You're confused. What you admire most about me is my incomparable grit and gallantry. So don't be frightened, sweetness.
And if you watch the show, you're going to know why he gets that name. There is Violent Black Man.
You, I'm gonna.
Aphrodite Lady.
Jack, nobody chooses desperation.
And then there's Alice, alright, who is a normal human girl who is sent via telepathy to the FreakAngels. Because what British Magneto is doing is he goes out and he kills people, and the people close to them, like their family and friends, the people he kills, he gets all psychic genjutsu on them and basically says, oh, the FreakAngels did it, even though they're at this city that you're not in. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, some kind of way they killed your family member that's right here and totally not in the city with the FreakAngels. Because it makes total sense. But okay, that's fine. And so of course the people fall for it because the people are idiots, and British Magneto has British Magneto powers. And so he goes, so she goes to kill these psychically powered people with a shotgun. That's it. She's just gonna go and just try to shotgun these people. But yeah, so of course, with that is that's pretty much the story. You know what I'm saying? So Alice is going to try to help the Freak Angels, you know, incorporate themselves into Whitechapel. British Magneto is going to try to screw that up. Force Ghost is going to try to, you know, make that happen. Now, the execution of this show is way better than High Guardian Spice. Mainly because it's done by actual Japanese people. And they probably had just a little bit more of a budget than High Guardian Spice did. Which is kind of unfortunate, you know. And the writing is also better. Like I said, Warren Ellis, comic book writer, is involved with this. Even though Warren Ellis is kind of a sex pest and not a very good person. But you can tell his influence is in here. You can kind of feel it. You know what I'm saying? Because this show, unlike High Guardian Spice, earns the little content warning that it has at the front of every episode. Okay? Alright, it earns that. Okay? It's actually violent. People get torn apart with... People tear people apart with their mind. One dude literally just kind of just... He with his brain, he fucks that guy up, man. It's just fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, there's sex in this show. Like, I've never thought I would say this sentence, but tantric, psychic, nigga sex. That's essentially what we got. You know what I'm saying? Two, you know, violent black man and Aphrodite lady. Tantric psychic nigga sex. I have no idea. Okay, that's what's up, homie. You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as the negatives with this show, like, one thing that really brings this show down is the melodrama. Oh my goodness. This show would be so much more interesting without the melodrama. Because, I mean, one, while they are characters, unlike the people from High Guardian Spice, these are characters, but I don't care about them that much. I care about them, and I care about them trying to fulfill their plan to live with the humans and whatnot, and what happens to their lives, but I don't care about them that much that I really want to get into the melodrama of their lives. Like, something like Fruits Basket can pull off romance melodrama good because they build up the characters to the point where you care if they end up being happy, and if they get their feelings hurt, if they end up with the people they love, you care about that. Freak Angels is a 9-episode edgy action show. Like, we not in there. We not in the same realm, bro. This melodrama don't work. You know what I'm saying? The whole thing between violent black man and Aphrodite lady, it's like, okay, you have this love-hate relationship with each other. Yo, their relationship reminds me of your typical Maroon 5 song. Alright? It's like, oh man, you know, I love her, but she's toxic for me, but the sex is so good. And she's like, well, I love him, but he's violent and he hides guns in my house. But the sex is so good. It's like, why? I don't care about this. Like, and not to mention, one of the other things is there's another relationship in this show that works out well. It works out well, as well as things work out in this show, which that's a whole nother story. But you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's another relationship that kind of blossoms a little bit, and if given more time, it would have had more feeling when it ended. You know what I'm saying? But of course, that's the other negative here. Time. There's not enough time in this show. 9 episodes. 9. I think High Guardian Spice at least got 10? You know what I'm saying? Why does this one only get 9? Because this one's actually would have been better with more time. I mean, the end just kind of happens like boom. And the ending. Bro, the ending look, I'm gonna talk about that in a second. I gotta talk about the animation before I talk about the end, because when I talk about the end, that's gonna be the end of this. The animation itself is actually kind of good. Again, I said this was done by some Japanese people, so of course, you know what I'm saying. Now, of course, there are some bootleg CG parts to this, but it's not nearly as egregious as some CG stuff we've seen come out of Crunchyroll.
I felt like they style.
Where are their eyes?
Yeah, it's been terrible. Alright, Crunchyroll has set CG fans back for years. You know what I'm saying? But it's not that bad. Alright, you know, it doesn't have that same kind of bootleg cow arts Western animation style that we have had for the last, 10 years or so. It definitely looks good. Now, if I was to nitpick it at the art, I could say the line work is a little weird, but that's really more of a nitpick, and I'm not that much of an artistic person to really be able to do that effectively. So for me, looks good. You know what I'm saying? Now, let's talk about this ending. Bro, what the hell, bro? Alright, how about this? You seen Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon?
许个愿吧，小虎。
一起回新疆。
So what happened? Alright, so did she jump and fly off into this ephemeral dimension between realities? Or did she plummet to her untimely death? We don't know, because you're supposed to just take that ending with, and just do with it as you will. Yes, FreakAngels ends similarly to this. The ending is like, yeah, man, it's up to your interpretation. I'm like, I just gave you hours of my life, and you just say, yeah, the ending's up to you, buddy. What? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. And the ending comes out of nowhere. Like, they set it up in, like, the last episode and a half. And I'm like, okay, so y'all were setting up this one character to do a specific turn. But then at the very last minute, like the last 25% of the last episode of the show, they heel turn secretly and nobody knows but British Magneto, and then it just ends like that. Do you think British Magneto would have let that happen, especially with the plan he had? FreakAngels gets a C, bro. Get out of here with these Crunchyroll Originals, bro. Alright, give me more Fina Pirate Princess, less this in High Guardian Spice. Unless you're going to get some better writers for High Guardian. Then I come back for that. But, yeah. Do better. So, of course, that's about it for this. Like, comment, subscribe. And as always, folks, keep it real.